is The Last Picture Show with Raheem Khan, and I am reviewing Netflix's The Rip, starring Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Kyle Chandler, that lady from One Battle After Another, and that other lady from the TV show From. Directed by Joe Carnahan, with a script and story by, of course, the director himself. The film is about a tactical drug team, a police drug team out of Miami, and they come across the score of a lifetime, $20 million. And of course, as the trailer suggests, and as the film goes on to expound upon, I mean, sort of like, is this sort of the straw that will break the camel's back? Is this that sort of one moment where these seemingly honest cops finally give in to temptation and sort of like, go home very rich? Quickly, you can't watch this in the cinema, so let's skip that altogether. Should you stream it or should you skip it? I hate to say, but skip this one. I'm sorry to say this, but I wasn't convinced by this movie. I really like Joe Carnahan, considering that he directed one of... I know I'm not getting this wrong, but I'm pretty sure about this. He directed, wrote, all of that stuff. One of my favorite action movies of all time, which is another Netflix one, Mosul. If you guys haven't seen that movie, you 1000% must. And of course, he directed other movies like The Grey and other things. So, I mean, sort of, this guy has... I hold him in high regard, right? You then, of course, have Matt Damon. You have, Ben Affleck. Two very solid actors. Oh, and I completely forgot Stephen Ewan. He's also in this movie. So, I mean, when you do have like such pedigree going on and a story which is apparently loosely based on true events, you kind of, you're expecting something, right? But unfortunately, while it certainly has the tone, it certainly has like sort of this intention, at least, of being this sort of like, not exactly muscly in the sense that it's like it's a straight out action movie, but it's meant to be one of those cop thrillers that have a bit of teeth to it. But I don't know, there's something about this movie that I found dull and maybe uninspired, to the point that I think that if it weren't for, I would say maybe somewhat beyond, I would say, the first half of the movie, where there's this fantastic scene where things finally come to a head. Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, because the thing is that until this point, you're not very clear who are the good guys. As sort of is tattooed on Damon's hand, are we the good guys? You're not sure, because the thing is that right before they roll up on this particular house that is, has all of this, has this stash, their captain is killed, and sort of fingers are being pointed by IA as to who is responsible for this. Was it Matt Damon's character? Was it Ben Affleck, who sort of had a relationship with this woman? Was it any number of the team? Was it the cartel? Who's responsible? Nobody knows. So the thing is, you go into this movie not knowing who is the guilty party. And then, of course, there is the question of, is this team going to keep the money or not? It's clear, from sort of the get-go, that sort of Matt Damon's character is on the fence. Ben Affleck's character seems to be very clear-cut. He doesn't want any part of it. So there's all of this stuff going on. But as I said, it comes to a head in this really cool moment in which Kyle Chandler's character, who plays a DEA agent, rolls up in one of those armored vehicles. And they're all, in this case, it's Damon, Affleck, Chandler, and Ewan. They're all sitting in the back of this thing, and they're sort of driving in the streets of Miami. And thanks to, those little, wouldn't call them portholes, but those little things up on top, the little windows, there's only a little light, and of course it's nighttime, that comes through. So the thing is that while they're driving, sort of there are these sort of pauses thanks to, sort of the light. And sort of like, they're talking, pause, it's completely black. Then, comes back and somebody's already taken out their gun. Then it happens again. So it's like a Mexican standoff, timed to the beats of these street lights. It's really well done. And that's when, of course, the whole jig is up and, everyone is, you find out who is right, who's wrong and all of that stuff. But I thought that was a really, really well done scene. Of course, there's this gratuitous chase scene at the end. Absolutely no need for that. The action is somewhat middling. And, I think there was more of a story, more of a film to be made here. But I don't know, they just couldn't capitalize on it, which is a shame. Another shame is they have Scott Adkins in this movie, who I'm glad someone's throwing this guy a bone, because it's such a shame. For the most part, this guy has been largely a B-movie actor. But I mean, it's such a shame, because the thing is that the man can act, he's good looking, great, physique, and of course, martial artist. So the fact that this man has not gotten his day in the sun is something that Hollywood needs to wake up to. All in all, I was disappointed by The Rip.